Hello, welcome back to my channel, A Nourished Life and Home. I am Amanda. I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 4 young children, ages 6, 5, 3, and 1. This year we are going to be having 1 formal student, 1 kindergarten, 1 preschool, and our baby. I am going to share with you today our Form 1 curriculum picks. So Form 1 stands for first, second, and third grade in Charlotte Mason speak. This year we're going to be doing a little bit of first grade, a little bit of second grade. I'm going to share with you what we're going to be doing for that. So stick around. If you like these videos, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for more of our homeschool series. Thanks for being here. Our first subject is Bible. We are going to be reading straight from the Bible. So this is going to be our school time Bible. Then we're going to be doing catechism and memory work. So we will be using the Training Hearts, Teaching Minds book, along with the Truth and Grace Memory Book 1 for our catechism and memory time. We will be doing our recitation. I will do more of an in-depth video on our morning basket, but our recitations all will go in here. We will have a poem, 2 different scriptures, 2 or 3 different scriptures, our hymns, all in our recitation. So I will share more about that in that video. Then we're going to be doing our history. So I have a history timeline that we will pull out and add our people to. It is long, and I got this from our Cooper Nest from her downloads, and I taped it together. So we lay it out probably once a week, and we will plug in the people that we are learning about from all the different subjects into our history timeline. Then for our history reading, I picked up these Heroes of History readers from YWAM Publishing. This is what we're going to try this year for more of the historical biographies, and then we might supplement with some more historical readings from the library. I'm just going to see how this goes. History was really a bust for us last year. Some of the chapter book readers from YWAM I think are a little too intense for my young children, and so I got these picture books. So we're going to see how these go. I have not seen these on any Charlotte Mason book lists, so I'm not sure exactly how true to her philosophy they are. But I think my children will enjoy them and enjoy the pictures, and we will get an introduction to these people in history. Okay, along with our Heroes from History biographies that I'm going to be folding in, we have our American heroes, and then we have some missionaries. We're also going to be doing 50 famous stories retold. This is stories from history. This is part of the Ambleside book list, so I'm excited to read these with our children. Then we will do poetry. I have this nature calendar poem, so we'll probably read 1 of these a day. They're dated. This is such a beautiful copy from Riverbend Press. And then our poet this year is going to be Robert Louis Stevenson. So I got A Child's Garden of Verses, and it's just so beautiful. So this will be part of our poetry this year. For our reading and word building, we are going to be trying out Words Their Way. This is a classroom curriculum, but I was watching a video from Simple Wonders on YouTube. I'll link her channel below. But she was showing how she uses this as a spelling curriculum. I went through and we're going to try it. We're going to try the word sorts. I printed them off and laminated them and cut them out here. So we have little envelopes for each sort. And she has a video I'll link below on how she uses them. It follows along Mason's philosophy of the playing with the letters and the sounds, and we're going to be doing that for spelling this year. We just use these Bananagrams letters for our word building. They have really beautiful wooden letters. They just have not been affordable for us, and this has been a really affordable way for my children to play with the letters. We have a few foam magnetic letters with the capitals and the lowercase letters. They'll play with those on the fridge sometimes. But for our word building at the table, we'll just use these Bananagrams letters. And then this is my daughter's book of words we will use this for our spelling too. So after we are building the words, whatever words that she can spell on her own, we'll add to her book, and that'll just be more spelling practice. Sometimes I'll write them for her because this won't be a writing lesson, this will be a spelling lesson, but she may just want to write them all herself, and that is totally fine too. For our writing curriculum, we do use the Getty Dubé Italic Handwriting Series. We used Borchowski, I don't know if that's how you say it. Beautiful handwriting this last year. And then we switched to this after we were done with that program, which was really great. It was just one letter a day, doing it nicely and excellently, and working on your strokes and pencil holding. That was really wonderful. And then we moved on to the Getty Dubé workbooks. I only really have my child do one line a day if they can do it really well. That's what I'm looking for with handwriting. I had it suggested to me too, since I had a child who was having a harder time with handwriting, to even just put away the workbook and work on the pencil grip muscles with such young children. They recommended rolling Play-Doh or clay, or using the brush with water on the calligraphy paper. If you have a child that's struggling with handwriting, you can maybe try that. Put away the workbooks and just play with those muscles and water and paintbrushes and just working on the strokes. So with handwriting, Charlotte Mason really focuses on excellent work, doing your absolute best, and the techniques that will build a habit of beautiful handwriting over an education, over a lifetime, over school lessons at the table. So that's what we've done for handwriting. For our Tales in Literature this year, we are going to be re-picking up the Blue Fairy book. This was scheduled for our last year, and we just never even got through a full story. So I am going to be adding this to our Tales in Literature this year. And this will be our first year doing any Shakespeare too. I did not do Shakespeare in my school experience, so I will be enjoying these along with my children. I got this Beautiful Stories from Shakespeare for Children by E. Nesbit, and I'm looking forward to reading this with them. So we'll be doing that. And then we got the Just So stories from Rudyard Kipling. So I'll be doing that. And then at bedtime, we like to read from the My Book House series. So we're on book 2. My children enjoy that for our Tales in Literature. We will also have more Tales in Literature in our free readings and our family read alouds. So I can share more about that in another video. Along with our nature poems, we are going to be keeping this nature log. It is just a blank calendar with really big boxes. Every day we're going to log the weather, what we're noticing happening in nature, and this is just a fun kind of logbook for the kids to keep too. You can see we started it here. I like that it's all blank, so even though we ended in March with doing this last time, hopefully we can be more consistent this year. We can pick up when we start school in a few weeks. And this will help the kids with calendar work, writing the date, seeing what day of the week it is, what month, and this is a really fun way to do that. For our modern language this year, this last year we did sign language using Signing Time, which was so much fun. My children loved it. My husband has a family member who is completely deaf. He was born deaf. So a lot of his family signs, and we have a growing deaf community in our church. So it's been really fun for the kids to know a few signs, to be able to communicate with some of our church family, and then communicate amongst each other when it's not appropriate to talk, or we don't want to be loud, or we can say no or yes in church, and it's just really fun. So, but this year we're going to be diving into Spanish, and I am very excited about this resource. We're going to be trying out talkbox.mom, and what it is it's this subscription box for a modern language. They have so many languages on there. And the idea is to create a culture of immersion in your home. So this first box that they sent us for Spanish is a kitchen box. And there are different challenges to kind of keep you on track. They have an app that has the native speakers saying the words so that you know how to say them properly. And then this guide for moms to refer to. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so I'm just very excited for this, and it's in alphabetical order. So we're doing the kitchen series first. The idea is that within a week, we're going to be able to ask each other questions regarding the kitchen and snacks and food. And then once we are done with this box and we feel pretty confident with all of the vocabulary in it, we'll move on to the next box, which I don't remember what the topic for the next box is, but we're starting with the kitchen. So that is, I'm very excited for that. Let me know if you've ever used TalkBox in the comments below and what your experience was. The next subject that I am probably the most excited about is our natural history subject. We are doing the Burgess Animal Book this year, which I am so excited for. There are so many of these animals in here that live local to us that we talk about all the time. My husband is very outdoors. He is like our nature trail guide whenever we go hiking. He knows all the trees and the plants, and we just love enjoying nature together. I am very excited for this book. I also got these prints from Riverbend Press. They are beautiful. So they are the Burgess original palette prints. I have one scheduled for each of the animals that we will meet along the way. And then we will hang them up as part of our art study while we read this. These are just so beautiful. Along with our natural history for term 1, we are going to be doing Wildlife in the Woods and Fields by Arabella Buckley. If you looked at my curriculum hits and misses video, I talked about us reading Birds of the Air and Insect Life this past year. We are going to pick up with Wildlife in the Woods and Fields this year, which will go along really nicely with the Burgess Animal Book. Then we're going to be doing Drop of Water. I picked up this book before I realized it was on the Ambleside Online year 2 or 3, I think. So we're just going to do it this year because I'm excited about it. It is beautiful and it is just so lovely. My children have been having a lot of questions about water and rain and mist and clouds, and this will just be so delightful to do these little experiments along with them. Very, very beautiful book. Along with our natural history, we're going to be doing nature journaling. I found this free resource on johnmuirlaws.com. I can link it below. But they have a how to teach nature journaling printable and download. You can read it online if you would prefer that. But I am very excited to refer to this for teaching nature journaling and growing in that skill. I keep a nature journal along with my children, and that has just been such a fun thing to experience with them. Many of these things I am learning right alongside them. And so as they're practicing their handwriting, I am working on my handwriting. I realize I learned to hold a pen wrong, and it's much more comfortable to hold it the way that I'm trying to teach them. And so I'm learning right alongside them, and I am excited to keep learning in the nature journaling department. Geography is the next subject that I will be sharing. Our base for geography this year is going to be Home Geography by C.C. Long. We tried Charlotte Mason Elementary Geography this last year, and I think this is going to be a much better fit. So I was pre-reading this one. It went along really nicely with our other books. This is the one we will be doing. I have this geography glossary, which is very nice to reference. We have our kinetic sand tray that we will move things around as my children narrate geography and build deltas and mountains and lakes and all those things. Having a sand tray is a really nice way for young children to show that they're understanding what we are learning. And then we are going to be doing Paddle to the Sea by C. Halling. I am very excited about this one too. I pre-read the whole thing, and I think my children are very much going to enjoy this one. We have our maps here on the wall. That will be fun. I am going to be researching a little bit more about map work and that whole concept this year. We did not do a whole lot of that in this last year, so that will be good, and I will keep you updated on that. But to start, we're going to read these books and narrate them and use our sand tray. For math, we are going to be continuing our Math with Confidence. My daughter's really enjoying this. I'm still, if you looked at my curriculum video, I don't know if we're going to stick with this all the way through. I know it's important with a math curriculum to like commit and go along for the journey on what the creator of the curriculum is trying to take you along. But we're going to finish this because we have a good thing going, and we will just keep on keeping on, and I'll let you know my thoughts. But this is our math plan, is Math with Confidence. Mason recommends doing paper modeling and paper Sloyd for math. It's very great for geometry, for learning exact work. So we're going to be doing this paper modeling with origami paper. There are a lot of fun projects in here. This will be one of our afternoon occupations or invitations. Sometimes there's a kite, a bookmark. Very fun. It builds confidence in children when they're able to make something with their own hands, have the product at the end, and that will be a blast. For our solfege, which is like singing lessons, learning how to sing, learning how to train your voice, we're going to be using Children of the Open Air on YouTube, their singing lessons. And then I found this sampler of American songs for folk songs. I found it at a thrift store, and it gives you the backstory on the song, and then it'll give you the music and the song. So I'm going to try looking at this for our folk songs and doing some of that. I have not pre-read this, so we will see. And then I got this old songs and singing games. So we're going to look at that for some of our folk songs and singing games. Kind of fun. I am going to be using Spotify for our Spanish songs. If you are learning Spanish with your children and you have some very delightful songs that you guys like to sing together for your modern language, please let me know in the description box. I would love some resources for that. For piano, we go to piano lessons and we practice at home. I also love Voteberg Music Academy for piano lessons, or fiddle, or guitar. That is a wonderful resource for families who want to bring music into their home. And then for our composer, we're going to do Beethoven for the first term. I think I'm just going to play the songs on Spotify and look at some picture book biographies from the library. That's kind of my plan for Beethoven. For art instruction, I got these prints from Simply Charlotte Mason. I also love the Riverbend Press prints, also because they give you the prints and then you can order prints smaller in sticker form, which is very nice to add to our Truth, Beauty, and Goodness notebooks. We did that last year and that was very enjoyable, but I liked the Simply Charlotte Mason Monet choices better. So we're going to do Monet for our term 1. I just looked at their different prints and artists, and I picked what I thought would be very delightful to have on our walls. Sometimes we study artists that maybe we're not drawn to their art, and that's okay. We did Cassatt this last term, and there were a few paintings that I really loved, and my daughter just was like not into it. So I hung them up on the wall anyway. That's kind of how it is with art. We're drawn to some, we're not drawn to others, and I think that's part of what makes it a beautiful thing to study. For brush drawing, we are going to be using, let me grab it, May Malum brush drawing book. And then we have some calligraphy paper for practicing. It's reusable. It's very nice. but these plates are fun to replicate and follow. I also purchased the, what is it? Is it Lily and Thistle watercolor course to add to our afternoon times. I think we'll probably stick with this for more of our brush drawing instruction. She has some good videos on color theory and taking care of your supplies that I think will be helpful. But I think a lot of the idea of brush drawing is that you are not coloring in a picture, you are drawing with the brush. So that'll be more of our school time, and then we will use that course for more of our afternoon occupations, because she gives you the print, you trace it, and then you color, which is great. You brush draw, which is great for learning to mix colors and do different techniques like wet on wet or wet on dry. So we will use that to just supplement our brush drawing lessons. For our handcraft for term 1, and really the entire year, my daughter is making her first quilt. So I had a bunch of scraps. I love quilting, I'm a quilter, and she sees mommy quilt and sew, and she wanted to participate in that, and I thought that would be a wonderful thing for her to join in. So we're going to be working on this throughout the entire year in very small 10-minute chunks, sewing a few squares here and there. She's already worked on this portion. She designed the whole thing. We laid it out and we have it all stacked up. I think that will be very enjoyable and fun for her. Then I have a list of things we're going to be working on for habits, for around our home and garden, skills that I want to teach our children, skills like scouting skills that my husband is going to participate in and teach them, trail safety, first aid, things like that. I think when you have really capable children, you have really confident children that play independently well, and they just become these really beautiful, well-rounded people that are capable to take on what we're going to encounter in life. So I have a list for that at the bottom of my schedule, and we will just fold those into our day-to-day living. But for our school block time, that is what I have scheduled, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments what resource maybe you are looking forward to looking into, or a resource that you used and loved. I would love to hear, and I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.